Cutie Pies, I am Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. Today is Friday, yay, December the 29th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a solid 8. It was a good episode for me. And a great cliffhanger. I enjoyed it. Look down in the comments on the pin section if you haven't got to see it yet. All right. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let's go ahead and get into this review. So, it's New Year's Eve. Everyone's getting ready to go to their different parties, to enjoy themselves, and we're going to start off by seeing Nicole and Holly. So Nicole goes into Holly's room. Now Holly has plans to go out with Tate. He's taking her to the bistro. They're gonna have a nice grown up like date, right? And but we see that Holly has these pills in her hands. Now remember, Stefan and everyone has been doing these pills, um, with throughout the bistro. Now these don't quite look like the pills that Stefan and Ava had, but you never know. But Holly has them, and so when Nicole comes in, she hides them, and she was like, "Oh, you scared me," and Nicole was like, "I didn't mean to scare you," and so they're talking, and she just tells her she plans on having a great night with Tate, and Nicole is going to be at home with EJ and celebrating. And they just have a nice, mother daughter conversation. And that's pretty much it with them, right? So Nicole looked nice in her pantsuit and her jumpsuit. It was cute on her, and everything. And Holly had on her dress, and she wanted to wear something else, but Nicole said, "No, you're gonna wear something that's not so mature, that's not so seductive and sexy for your age." Because and Holly said, "Well, I don't want to wear your your clothes. I'm not old." And Nicole said, "I'll find you something that's cute." So, anyways, Tate comes over to pick her up. Now, he comes over to pick her up, and he's ready to go with her, and he's like, "Wow, you look amazing, you look amazing." Nicole was like, "Well, you said that already." And she was like, he was like, "Oh, my bad." So anyways, they head off to the bistro, right? So that's them. So then we see that y'all, it was a lot of moving pieces, so stay with me now. So then we see that Chad is walking through Horton Square, and he runs into Leo. Leo tells him, "I want my job back." Chad said, It's not going to be up to me. It's going to be the editor in chief, which is Everett. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it." Because Leo tried to tell Chad, "Y'all need me back. I gave that paper numbers." And so at first Chad told him no, but then he was like, "You know what? If Everett says okay, then fine, we'll do it." And then so Leo asked Chad, "So what about you and Stephanie? What's going on with y'all two? Y'all going to enjoy your New Year's Eve together?" He said, "No, actually we broke up." So then Leo has a flashback of remembering Stephanie walked down the stairs of the pub, right? So he like, "Well, wait a minute. When did y'all break up?" And Chad said, "That's none of your business." He keep on moving. I said, "Uh-oh, Leo about to get on the investigation, about to be messy with it." I like this version of Leo. So he leaves, right? And then Chad ends up going over to EJ and Nicole's place. And him and Nicole talk, and they have a conversation. He just asks her how she and EJ are doing. And he wanted to thank EJ. Um, because EJ did something for it. But Nicole actually was like, "Well, shouldn't you be thanking Stefan?" And he said, "No, I would not thank Stefan." I said, "You need to go back over there to Stefan so you can finish asking him about what is it that Clyde Weston has on him." Because Chad, you might have actually be able to help him. But anyways, so he's over there trying to thank EJ, and Nicole was like, "He's been in meetings all day long, so he's not here. He's upstairs. You're welcome to wait." So when he waits, they sit down and they talk about everything that's going on. He tells her about Stephanie. She's sad to hear about that, and he said, "But honestly, I shouldn't have been in a relationship anyway. Anyways, I wasn't ready. I wasn't over Abigail." And she said, "I was ready for another baby." So they talk about that. It's just a nice little moment between these two. And this is the second time they've had a nice little moment between these two. So moving right along. Um, so Nicole, she's yelling, it's New Year's is happening, and she's yelling up for EJ because she's like, "Woo, get me out of 2023. I'm ready for 2024. This was a rough year for me. So get me out of it, and let's welcome 2024, and hopefully it is kind to me." And I said, "Girl, mm-mm." So she's yelling up for EJ to come down, popping champagne and all that kind of good stuff. So then we go over here and we see Stephanie and Everett. So Stephanie, oh shoot, Stephanie and Everett are getting ready. They're meeting each other up for to go to the bistro, and he doesn't really want to go, and she says, yeah, you need to go because it's not a party, it's networking. You need to meet all these people in town and network them. So anyways, they end up going to the party, child. And so then from there we see Alex, Teresa, and Brady and Tate all meet up, and um Teresa was like, Tate, where you going? And he didn't want to tell her. I'm like, why you don't want to tell her? And so Brady's like, he's going to pick up Holly and everything. This is before he picked her up. And she was like, oh, he was like, Dad, you got to tell her everything. And he was like, what's the big deal? And she was like, well, I thought you didn't want Holly. You threw a gift away and all that. He said, yeah, but we made up. And she was like, well, go have fun. So they go off, and then they tell Brady, Tate goes off, and they tell Brady, what are you going to do? He said, well, my date canceled on me. And because Tate had told him, I'm sorry, your date didn't make it. And they said, who was your date? And he said, Rachel, but Kristen took her out of town. I said, now, Kristen, you didn't let the man see her for Christmas, and then you took her for New Year's when you knew she had plans with him. Now, Kristen said, So uh Teresa tells him, well, come with us. And he said, what? No, I'm not going to be the third wheel. She said, we're going to be at the bistro. It's going to be other people you know. Come on with us and have a good time. I didn't like Teresa's dress for some reason. I don't know. I guess it was the sequence, all the different colors. For some reason, I didn't like that. But anyways, it's not about what I like, so let's move on. So that Brady ends up saying, "Yes, I'll go," and so they go to the bistro. So that's somebody else who's going to the bistro. So then we run into Johnny and Chanel. So Johnny and Chanel are getting ready, right? Well, they've already gotten ready, and they're walking up to the bistro, and they talk about Paulina is going to be at the house. She feels bad for leaving her there, but he says, she wanted us to go and enjoy our time together. She didn't want us fussing about her. So just enjoy it. And Chanel was like, yeah, you're right. But I feel bad that she's all alone, right? So, anyways, they end up going to the bistro as well. Who else ends up going? So then we see Stefan and Ava are at the bistro, right? Because of course that's their play. They're getting it already. I liked what Ava had on. I thought it was I liked it. I thought she looked really nice in this episode. A lot of people looked really great. I like when they get to dress up. So they're talking, and she said, did you see that the pills are laced with cocaine or something, and they had two children to overdose, and they said, is it our shipment? And Stephen was like, we don't know where they got those pills and drugs from. We're not handling, they just drop it off and then somebody else picks it up, and we're not in drug dealers or whatever. And Ava said, keep telling yourself that, because we are drug dealers, sir. I don't know why you're in denial about this. And so she tells him that Trip is leaving. He's going to China with Wendy, and she says, even though she's sad about it, on the other hand, she's glad he's not going to be there, and Clyde can't get so easily get a hold to him. And Stefan says, I wish it was that way for me when it comes to Gabby. He can't protect, he can't just send Gabby away, so he's worried about her. So anyways, child, after so these two talk, and she remember the other day, um she had to let Harris believe that she and um Stefan were dating. So she tells him that, she was like, oh, and by the way, Stefan, Harris thinks we're dating because he just assumed that, and I just let him go with it because it's better than letting him know that we were running drugs and everything. And he was like, yeah, I guess so. So later on, they're working the party, and she touches his arm, and he's like, no. And I'm like, no, Stefan, it's not that serious. And he was like, if people think we're having an affair, wouldn't it be better for us to keep it on the low or whatever? And she was like, oh, spoken like somebody who knows. Come on, y'all, let's move on. I was like, okay, Ava, let's move on. I don't understand why she was even grabbing on his arm or anything. I didn't get it, but it is what it is, whatever. So everyone is mingling around at the party. They've all made it to the party, so they're mingling and talking and doing everything. And then at one point, Stephanie and Everett come up to Ava and Stephen, and Stephanie's like, Ava, because that's her brother's mom, and so they're speaking, and she introduces Stephen to Ava, excuse me, Everett to Ava and Stephen, and he says, your last name, Vitaly Demira, and then he puts his foot in it because he's like, oh, wait a minute. your last name, and he was wanting to say something, but then he realized who he was talking to. So he was like, "Yes, colorful background, and does your family frequent this?" And Ava said, "This is legit business." I said, "Lord, ever gonna look into it too." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then the whole time they were talking, did it look like Stefan was looking at Stephanie like, "Why are you talking to me?" I said, Stephanie, why you looking at this girl like that? But he was looking at her the whole time like, stop talking to me. Leave me alone. Stefan does not want to be bothered. Anyways, child, Leo ends up going up to Everett and asking for his. Okay, so they said Stephanie asked them, is there any celebrity or grand interest or anything?" And they said, "You never know." And then here comes Leo, and his cape comes in, and everybody starts clapping and stuff because he made a grand entrance. And he tells Everett he wants his job back. He was like, y'all did a nice little article about me. Thank you. He said, but that paper needs me. I give um I have a large fan base and following, and I'll give you that spike in ratings and everything that you need. And Everett says, as long he told him no at first, and then he said, "You know what? Okay, but you're gonna have to make sure that everything goes. You fact check everything you're putting out there." And he was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that." So he get that job back, I said. But he also told him, I think Chad told him as well, that they want to read every piece of information that he puts out before he puts it out. I said, "Okay, child, this is gonna be a mess." So then we go to they just keep mingling, everyone's mingling, and Stefan goes up to excuse me, Leo goes up to Stefan, and he talks to him about, how they're in the same predicament. Both their loves are in prison. And Stephen said, "Mine is innocent. Your psychopath is guilty." And he said, "That's your nephew." And then Stephen goes on. And so then we see Brady talks to Alex and tells Alex talks to Brady and tells Alex, "Brady, could you please give Teresa some encouragement about running Bella?" And Stephen, Brady is like, "All right, I guess." So he goes to Teresa, and everybody's having a good time, and he tells her, "Listen, I just want you to know, I see what you're doing with Bella, and that used to be under my umbrella. So if you never ever need any help or anything." Teresa took it wrong. I don't think he was trying to be condescending or anything. And y'all know how I feel about Brady. I can't stand him. But at this point, I feel like Teresa feels a little insecure about it. So she took it the wrong way, and she snapped off on him, and then she left. Now, when she leaves, she goes and she sees Holly and Tate. Now, Holly and Tate have made it to the party, and they're mingling too. But then she pulls him aside, and she's like, "I got some pills." And he said, "Girl, both my parents are addicts. I'm not doing that." And I said, "I know that's right, Tate." And he tells her, "If you want to do that on your own time." He said, "But I didn't know you were into that." And she said, "You didn't know I was into it. I did weed." And he said, "Weed is completely different from pills, girl. No, I'm not doing that with you." And she said, "Fine, I'll do it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And he was like, "Okay, whatever." And so she goes to the bath. So then that's when Teresa comes up, and she talks to them for a little bit. And Holly was like, she asked them, "Are y'all having a good time?" Holly's like, "We're gonna have an even better time." And Teresa acted like she was annoyed with Holly, and she left. I said, "Y'all putting y'all bad mood out on other people." So, anyways, child. So Holly, Tate goes looking for Holly because now she's left for the bathroom, and I guess it's taking her a long time. So he goes and asks, Chanel and them, "Have you seen Holly?" And they said, "No. The last time I checked, she was going to the bathroom." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So he's going to look for her. So then now everything is winding down. Um, everything is winding down. Tate is looking for Holly. Alex and Teresa are dancing on the dance floor because she's in a better mood now. And did Brady look jealous, y'all? So Brady is looking at them, and they start kissing and everything. And I was like, this is one of the first times, first few episodes, in the last few episodes, Teresa hasn't actually been throwing herself at Brady. And so now he's looking at her with Alex. And I said, "I know you're not jealous. Are you jealous?" Lord. So he's looking at that or whatever. And then we see Chanel and Johnny leave. So when they leave, um he's about to walk her home. They're in Horton Square, and she says, "Oh, I got a text from my mama that says don't come home. Abe came over." I said, Paulina said, "Grown folks time. Don't you come over here messing some stuff up." And she said, "What? Where I go?" And so they start kissing, right? So then Everett and Stephanie leave, right? They leave the party. And they're like, "Oh, thank goodness we missed all the celebration and stuff." And then the fireworks start going off or whatever. And they look at each other and smile. And then the next thing you know, they're kissing. I said, "Wait a minute, Stephanie." Cause y'all gave Alex hell. Y'all was like, "Oh, I can't wait till Alex Stephanie finds out Alex slept with what's her name? Chanel. I can't wait till they find out he had a threesome with Chanel, and I can't think of the Johnny's sister name, but I can't wait till they find out." I said Stephanie has been hopping around herself lately. Now there's just kids, it's just a kiss or whatever. But I'm like, girl, you was just so in love with Chad. But anyways, unfortunately for her, Chad came up while she was kissing Everett. She doesn't see that he sees them, so we'll see on Monday if they bring that back up. Cause then let me see if I got everybody. So that's going on. And then outside of the party, the only people they showed was Sarah and Xander. She goes over the baby. The baby is running a fever. He doesn't have any Tylenol for the baby. He runs out to get Tylenol. The baby's fever goes down. The baby's feeling much better. Then he tells her, "You can go ahead and go to your party." She said, "No, this is where I want to be with with my baby and you." The next thing we know, it's New Year's Eve, and they're kissing too. And I said, the wheel is going, the hamster is off. Take me off this merry-go-round. I don't care." That's it with Xander and Sarah. I know y'all like them, but I'm done with them. So then the last part of the episode, we see Tate was looking around for Holly, and he goes outside at the back of the bistro, and he looks for her, and he sees her on the ground. And she it looks like, I don't know if she's having a seizure or something. The medicine was not good that they gave her. It was probably laced with cocaine and stuff too. So I don't know, child. And that's how it went off. That was Days of Our Lives today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on Monday for all new episodes of What Happened on the Soaps Days of Our Lives edition. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.